Or the family has so many questions as to why this happened, and they're hoping those answers come soon as the two people arrested go through the judicial system.
Out of Laura's relief, it was a relief.
Relief after almost a month for Alfonso Sparkman and his family. Sparkman's daughter, Chasity, shot and killed in the Lake Crest Village shopping center on Florin Road in Sacramento.
Valentine's Day 2024, Sacramento Shopping Center, 11:15 p.m. 26-year-old Chasity Sparkman steps out of her car, thinking she's about to have a conversation with her ex-husband about their children. Instead, she's walking into an execution. Gunshots pierce the night air. Within minutes, she's bleeding out on cold pavement while her killers speed away into the darkness. The man who pulled the trigger, the father of her 2 children. The woman who watched, his new girlfriend. This isn't just another murder case. This is what happens when love turns to obsession, when control becomes deadly, and when a mother's attempt to protect her family becomes her final mistake. Chasity Sparkman was Sacramento through and through. Born and raised in California's capital, she grew up in a tight-knit family that adored her infectious energy. Her father, Alfonso, called her his firecracker, the one who could lift everyone's spirits no matter how dark things got. At 26, Chasity was building the life she'd always dreamed of. She was studying psychology at Sacramento City College, working toward her degree while raising 2 children who meant everything to her. 6-year-old Priscilla and 9-year-old Zani weren't just her kids. They were her entire world. Everything she did, every decision she made revolved around giving them the best possible future. Social media captured glimpses of their life together. Happy videos of Chasity cooking with her children, teaching them about different foods, laughing as they tried new things together. Today, we're going to be eating the eggs with the ducks in there, she'd say to her camera, her children giggling beside her. These weren't performances for the internet. This was a mother who genuinely loved being with her kids. The father of those children was Isaiah James, 25 years old, and Chastity's childhood sweetheart. They'd been together since their teenage years, that kind of young love that feels like it will last forever. Marriage came naturally, and so did starting a family. For a while, they were happy, genuinely, completely happy. But happiness can be fragile, especially when one person starts to change. Isaiah ended up in jail. The details of why don't matter as much as what happened next. Chasity, being the devoted wife she was, tried to maintain their connection. Phone calls every day, updates about the children, supportive messages posted online for everyone to see. She was determined to keep their family together, even with prison bars between them. That's when Isaiah began to change. Or maybe that's when his true nature finally showed itself. Prison transformed him into someone Chasity barely recognized. Jealousy consumed him. Every phone call became an interrogation. Where was she going? Who was she talking to? Why hadn't she called earlier? He became convinced she was cheating on him, despite having zero evidence to support his paranoid thoughts. The emotional abuse started during visits. Instead of being grateful to see his wife and hear about his children, Isaiah would lash out. He had accused Chasity of betraying him, of not caring about their marriage, of planning to leave him. None of it was true. But truth didn't matter to Isaiah anymore. Control did. He began demanding constant updates on her whereabouts. She couldn't go out with friends without his permission. She couldn't visit family without checking with him first. Even from behind bars, Isaiah was trying to control every aspect of Chastity's life.
Still can't understand, so I'm still in a daze. It's been a month and I'm still my mind is still, I ain't wrapped my head around it. It was frustrating, very frustrating. The act of not knowing what's going on.
Her family watched their vibrant, energetic daughter and sister slowly disappear. Chasity became withdrawn, emotionally drained. The woman who used to light up every room now isolated herself from the people who loved her most. Yet she stayed loyal to Isaiah, giving him chance after chance after chance. Because that's what love looked like to Chasity, fighting for someone even when they're tearing you apart. But everyone has a breaking point, and Chasity finally reached hers. After months of psychological torture disguised as marriage, she made the hardest decision of her life. She filed for divorce and walked away from the man she'd loved since she was a teenager. It should have been the end of her nightmare. Instead, it was just the beginning. February 2024, Isaiah was released from prison and he wasn't alone anymore. He'd found a new girlfriend while Chasity was rebuilding her life, 25-year-old Ayonna Burgos. Now Chasity had to face a new reality, co-parenting with an ex-husband who'd become a stranger and dealing with the woman who'd replaced her. The call came the night before Valentine's Day. Isaiah wanted to meet, alone, just the 2 of them, to talk things through. Chasity hesitated. She had every reason to say no. Their relationship had ended in toxicity and pain. But she also had 2 children who needed their father in their lives, even if that father had become someone she didn't recognize. Maybe they could find a way to make co-parenting work. Maybe Isaiah had changed during his time in prison. Maybe this was a chance for closure, for healing, for moving forward as adults who shared the most important thing in the world, their children. So she said yes. She had no idea she'd just agreed to her own murder. The meeting started at Chastity's home that evening. At first, everything seemed normal. Small talk, casual conversation. Maybe Isaiah really had changed. Maybe this would work out after all. But then the mask slipped. The conversation turned tense. Old grievances surfaced. Isaiah's voice grew louder, more aggressive, and then he snapped. Pure rage took over. Isaiah attacked Chasity in her own home, beating her with his fists. She curled up, trying to protect herself, shocked that the man she'd once loved was trying to hurt her. The father of her children had become her attacker. Somehow, Chasity managed to fight him off. She forced Isaiah out of her house, slamming the door behind him. Her body ached. Her spirit was broken, but she was alive. She thought it was over. Hours passed. Chasity tried to process what had happened, tried to make sense of the violence that had erupted in her living room. Her phone buzzed, a text message from Isaiah. He wanted to meet again. He claimed he wanted to make things right, to apologize for what had happened. Despite everything, Chasity found herself considering it. Not for Isaiah's sake, but for her children. They needed their father, and she needed to find a way to make co-parenting work without more violence. Against every instinct telling her to stay away, Chasity agreed to meet Isaiah one more time. The location, Lake Crest Village Shopping Center in Sacramento's Pocket neighborhood. The time, 11 p.m. It was a decision that would cost her everything. Valentine's Day night 2024. The Lake Crest Village Shopping Center was nearly empty, just a few late-night shoppers and the quiet hum of a Sacramento evening. Chasity pulled into the parking lot at exactly 11 p.m., her heart racing but hopeful that maybe, just maybe, they could work things out for the sake of their children. She stepped out of her car, expecting to see Isaiah alone. Instead, she saw two figures waiting for her, Isaiah and his new girlfriend, Ayonna Burgos. Confusion washed over her face. Why was Ayonna here? This was supposed to be about their children, about finding a way forward. But Isaiah and Ayonna hadn't come to talk. They had come to kill. Within seconds of Chasity stepping out of her vehicle, Isaiah emerged from his car. But he wasn't empty-handed. The glint of metal caught the parking lot lights. A gun. Chasity froze. This couldn't be happening. Not here. Not like this. The father of her children wouldn't actually. Isaiah raised the weapon. Bang, bang, bang. The gunshots shattered the quiet night air. Bullets tore through Chastity's body, and she collapsed to the cold pavement, screaming in agony. Pain consumed every inch of her being as she lay bleeding, alone and helpless in that empty parking lot. Isaiah and Ayonna didn't hesitate. They didn't check on her. They didn't call for help. Without a shred of remorse or humanity, they jumped back into their car and sped away, leaving Chasity to die a slow, excruciating death. A nearby witness, startled by the gunshots, immediately called 911. Within minutes, emergency responders arrived at the scene, finding Chasity bleeding out on the pavement. They rushed her to the hospital, working frantically to save her life. But it was too late. At 26 years old, Chasity Sparkman was pronounced dead. The vibrant mother, the psychology student, the woman who had fought so hard to build a better life for herself and her children, gone. Murdered by the man who had promised to love and protect her. Her two young children, 6-year-old Priscilla and 9-year-old Zani, were now orphans. Their father had killed their mother, leaving them with nothing but trauma and loss. News of Chastity's murder sent shockwaves through Sacramento's Greenhaven neighborhood. Fear gripped the community as residents realized that the killers were still at large, potentially dangerous, and definitely desperate. The Sacramento Police Department's homicide unit immediately took charge of the case. Detectives meticulously combed through the crime scene at Lake Crest Village Shopping Center, collecting bullet casings, analyzing blood spatter patterns, and interviewing every possible witness. The breakthrough came quickly thanks to Chastity's family. Her cousin Vanessa Renee Adams revealed crucial information to investigators. She told them about the history of domestic violence between Chasity and Isaiah, and most importantly, she had personally witnessed Isaiah physically assault Chasity earlier that very night during their argument at home. With this testimony, detectives had their suspects, Isaiah James and Ayonna Burgos. The evidence was overwhelming. Isaiah had motive, jealousy, and control over his ex-wife. He had opportunity. He had arranged to meet Chasity that night. And now they had a witness who could place him at the scene of violence against the victim just hours before her murder. The Sacramento Police Department issued arrest warrants for both Isaiah and Ayonna, officially branding them armed and extremely dangerous. But when officers went to apprehend them, they discovered the couple had vanished. A nationwide manhunt began. The FBI joined the investigation, working alongside local law enforcement to track down the fugitives. They analyzed surveillance footage from the shopping center, traced phone records, examined financial transactions, and followed every possible lead. Days turned into weeks. Isaiah and Ayonna had seemingly disappeared without a trace. The community remained on edge, knowing that two cold-blooded killers were somewhere out there, possibly planning to strike again. The breakthrough came on March 23, 2024, more than a month after Chasity's murder. Federal authorities received intelligence that Isaiah James and Ayonna Burgos were hiding in Brooklyn, New York, over 2,800 miles away from Sacramento. In a coordinated operation between Sacramento police and the FBI, law enforcement surrounded a small apartment in the Flatbush neighborhood. At dawn, they struck. Isaiah James and Ayonna Burgos were found inside, taken completely by surprise. There was no dramatic chase, no shootout, no last stand. Just two killers who thought they could run from justice, suddenly faced with the reality that there's nowhere to hide from a nationwide manhunt. They were handcuffed and taken into custody without incident. The intense search that had gripped two coasts finally came to an end. Just because you commit a crime here and you think that you're going to get away by going to another city or another state or across the country, our investigators are really world class, and they're going to find you, Officer Anthony Gamble told reporters. The arrests brought immediate relief to Chastity's family. Her nephew later said he got some good sleep for the first time since the murder, knowing that his aunt's killers were behind bars. Isaiah and Ayonna were detained in New York as they awaited extradition back to Sacramento to face homicide charges. The legal process moved slowly, but justice was finally within reach.
And now to our other top story. The family of a Sacramento mother killed on Valentine's Day say they can rest easy after the two suspects in the shooting are now in custody. 26-year-old Chasity Sparkman was shot and killed in the Lake Crest Village shopping center in the Pocket neighborhood. Our Roxanne Elias has followed this story since it happened on that tragic day. And Roxanne, this is such a big development. How did the family react to all this?
It is, Laura. I spoke with Sparkman's Aunt Dee Dee, who answered my call by saying she was so excited to hear the two suspects were finally caught. Aunt Dee Dee is actually granted custody of Sparkman's 8 and 6-year-old children in case anything ever happened to her. Now, the family has gone through every emotion possible, while Sparkman's Aunt Dee Dee remains strong for the kids. Sacramento police said Tuesday night Isaiah James and Ayonna Burgos was taken into custody in New York City. Police have not confirmed the relationship between the suspects and Sparkman, but Aunt Dee Dee confirmed with us today that the pair are indeed Sparkman's husband and his girlfriend. She found out about the arrest after Sparkman's funeral and right before her services. Dee Dee says that the two children Sparkman left behind they both jumped for joy after learning about the arrest, and the family is now at peace. Police say both suspects face extradition to Sacramento for homicide-related charges. The family is waiting to hear about the next steps in the case.
And Roxanne, our hearts break for this family. Ever since the first day we heard that this happened, we know Chasity leaves behind beautiful children, and we know that you'll be following this story very closely and reaching out to the family every step of the way there. Roxanne Elias, thank you.
Both suspects now face life in prison without the possibility of parole. The evidence against them is overwhelming. Witness testimony, forensic evidence from the crime scene, and their own flight across the country, all pointing to their guilt. The arrest brought some measure of peace to Sacramento, but it couldn't bring back Chasity Sparkman. It couldn't undo the trauma inflicted on her two young children. It couldn't heal the hearts of a family torn apart by senseless violence. In the aftermath of Chastity's death, the community came together to honor her memory. Hundreds attended a candlelight vigil, sharing stories of her infectious laughter, her unwavering loyalty, and the deep love she had for Priscilla and Zani. They held heart-shaped balloons and wore pink, celebrating a life cut tragically short. She was nothing but joy, one family member said through tears. "We just love her. We just miss her so much." But the vigil was about more than remembering Chasity. It was about confronting an uncomfortable truth that too many families know all too well. Domestic violence doesn't end with divorce papers. Sometimes it escalates. Sometimes it turns deadly. Isaiah James wasn't a stranger lurking in the shadows. He was someone Chasity was supposed to trust. The father of her children, her childhood sweetheart, the man who had once promised to love and protect her. The greatest danger in her life came from the person who should have been her greatest source of safety. Domestic violence doesn't just destroy the victim, one speaker said at the vigil. It forever changes the lives of those left behind. 6-year-old Priscilla and 9-year-old Zani now face a future without their mother's warmth, without her guidance, without her unconditional love. They'll grow up knowing that their father killed their mother, carrying trauma that no child should ever have to bear. Chastity's murder reveals the devastating reality that many women face every day. The person who claims to love you can become the person who destroys you. The home that should be your sanctuary can become your prison. And sometimes, the act of leaving, the brave decision to break free from abuse, can trigger the ultimate act of control, murder. We often think danger lurks in dark alleys or comes from strangers, but statistics tell a different story. The most dangerous person in a woman's life is often someone she knows intimately, someone she trusts, someone she loves. Chasity Sparkman tried to do everything right. She left an abusive relationship, she filed for divorce, she tried to co-parent peacefully. For the sake of her children, she gave Isaiah multiple chances to prove he had changed. But Isaiah James had other plans. When he couldn't control Chasity through emotional abuse, he turned to physical violence. When he couldn't control her through intimidation, he turned to murder. The gunshots that ended Chastity's life on that Valentine's Day night didn't just silence her dreams. They shattered the innocence of 2 young children and left a community grappling with the harsh reality of domestic violence. Today, Isaiah James and Ayonna Burgos sit in jail cells, awaiting their fate. When their trials conclude, they will almost certainly spend the rest of their lives behind bars. Justice will be served, but it will never be enough to fill the void left by Chastity's death. Her family continues to care for Priscilla and Zani, trying to help them heal from trauma that no child should ever experience. They hold on to memories of Chastity's laughter, her strength, her love. They teach the children that their mother was a fighter who loved them more than life itself. And they keep Chastity's story alive, hoping that somewhere, somehow, it might save another woman from the same fate. Because the truth is, domestic violence isn't just a private family matter. It's a public health crisis that affects entire communities. It's a pattern of control that often escalates over time. And it's a problem that won't be solved by silence or shame. Chasity Sparkman's murder stands as a stark reminder that leaving an abusive relationship can be the most dangerous time in a victim's life. But it also reminds us that we cannot let fear paralyze us. We must continue to support survivors, believe their stories, and work to create a world where no woman has to choose between safety and freedom. The best way to honor Chastity's memory is to ensure that other women like her don't suffer the same fate, to recognize the warning signs of domestic violence, to support organizations that help survivors escape dangerous relationships, and to never forget that behind every statistic is a human being, someone's daughter, someone's mother, someone's sister. Chasity Sparkman was more than a victim. She was a loving mother, a dedicated student, a beloved daughter and sister. She was a woman with dreams, with plans, with so much life left to live. She deserved better, her children deserved better, and every woman facing domestic violence today deserves better. This case highlights the devastating reality of domestic violence and the importance of recognizing warning signs before it's too late. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, please reach out for help. Resources are available and you don't have to face this alone. What are your thoughts on Chastity's tragic case? Do you think there were missed opportunities for intervention? How can we as a society better protect women like Chasity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters in these important conversations. If this case moved you and you want to see more investigations into domestic violence crimes, please like this video and subscribe.